Did you know that the Egyptian gods were always fighting? Yeah, and sometimes they took it way too far. Like when Seth captured his nephew, Horus, plunging the world into chaos, or when Geb kidnapped Nut, shrouding the earth in eternal night. These divine feuds weren't just epic battles, they had terrifying consequences that rippled through both the heavens and the mortal world. These are 5 of the most terrifying stories of kidnapping in Egyptian mythology. Starting with number 5, the capture of Horus by Seth. The first story is one of the most famous and fearsome kidnappings in Egyptian mythology. According to some versions of the myth, Seth is said to have captured Horus. The story begins with the murder of Osiris, Horus's father, by Seth, who desired the throne of Egypt for himself. Horus, the rightful heir, was a constant thorn in Seth's side. To eliminate this threat, Seth devised a plan to kidnap Horus. Under the guise of a friendly meeting, Seth lured Horus into a trap. With his immense strength, Seth captured Horus and imprisoned him in a dark, isolated place. The terrifying aspect of this kidnapping lies not just in the act itself, but in the aftermath. With Horus imprisoned, the world was plunged into chaos. The balance between order and chaos, upheld by Horus, was disrupted. Crops failed, rivers dried up, and people suffered greatly. It was only through the cunning and determination of Isis, Horus's mother, that Horus was eventually freed. This story shows the catastrophic consequences that can result from the abduction of a key figure in maintaining cosmic balance. Isis's journey to free Horus was fraught with danger. She had to outwit Seth's minions and navigate a world turned hostile by Seth's chaotic influence. The people's suffering added urgency to her quest, making her determination and resourcefulness even more poignant. This kidnapping showed the delicate balance of power and the disastrous effects when that balance is disrupted. Horus's capture was not merely a familial dispute, it was a cosmic event that affected all of Egypt. The gods themselves were caught in the turmoil, showing the interconnectedness of divine and mortal realms. Seth's act was a blatant challenge to the natural order, showing the dire consequences of such upheaval. Number 4. The abduction of Isis by Seth. Our next story brings us back to Seth and his relentless pursuit of power. After Horus's escape, Seth turned his attention to Isis, the goddess of magic and motherhood, and sister wife of Osiris. Seth knew that Isis possessed powerful magic that could threaten his rule, so he decided to kidnap her. Seth's abduction of Isis was particularly horrifying because of the psychological torture involved. He disguised himself and tricked Isis into trusting him, then captured her and took her to a remote location where he kept her bound and powerless. This act of kidnapping was terrifying, not only because of the physical danger Isis was in, but also because of the implications for the world. Isis's magic was vital for the protection and prosperity of Egypt. With her gone, the land suffered from natural disasters and the people's suffering intensified. The world was on the brink of ruin until Thoth, the god of wisdom, managed to locate and rescue Isis, restoring balance once more. The psychological torment Seth inflicted on Isis added a layer of horror to this story. Isis, known for her wisdom and strength, was rendered helpless, and the world felt her absence keenly. Thoth's intervention underscored the importance of wisdom and strategic thinking in overcoming brute force. Isis's capture was not just a blow to the divine realm, but also the mortals who depended on her blessings. Her absence meant a loss of fertility, protection, and guidance. Temples and shrines dedicated to Isis fell silent, and her priests and followers were left in despair. The rescue mission, led by Thoth, was a testament to the resilience and unity of the gods when faced with adversity. Number 3. The abduction of Astarte by Seth. Seth's reign of terror didn't end there. Next, he set his sights on Astarte, a goddess of fertility and war. Astarte, known for her beauty and power, became an object of Seth's desire. He believed that by possessing her, he could enhance his strength and solidify his rule. Seth abducted Astarte in a brutal and violent manner, demonstrating his ruthless nature. He stormed her temple, overpowered her guardians, and dragged her away to his lair. The kidnapping of Astarte was terrifying because it showed Seth's blatant disregard for the sanctity of other gods and their roles. The consequences of Astarte's abduction were dire. As a goddess of fertility, her absence led to barren lands and a decline in the birth rates of both humans and animals. The world faced a crisis of survival, and it was only through the combined efforts of other gods that Astarte was eventually freed, restoring life and fertility to the land. Astarte's abduction highlighted the interconnectedness of the divine and mortal realms. The fertility of the land directly impacted the well-being of the people, and Astarte's capture showed how the gods' struggles could manifest in real-world suffering. The rescue effort demonstrated the power of unity and cooperation among the gods, reinforcing the theme of balance and harmony in Egyptian mythology. The plight of Astarte under Seth's control was a grim reminder of the fragility of life and prosperity. As the land withered and people starved, the desperation grew, showing the importance of divine intervention in human affairs. Astarte's eventual liberation was not just a victory for the gods, but also a rebirth for the earth. Number 2. The Kidnapping of Nut by Geb. In some versions of the myth, the fourth story takes a different turn, focusing on the kidnapping of Nut, the sky goddess, by Geb, the earth god. Unlike the previous stories, this kidnapping wasn't driven by malice, but by an intense and uncontrollable love. Geb and Nut were deeply in love, but their union was forbidden by Ra, the sun god. In a desperate attempt to be together, Geb kidnapped Nut and hid her away in the depths of the earth. This act was terrifying because it disrupted the natural order of the cosmos. With Nut confined, the sky was plunged into eternal night. The cycle of day and night, essential for life on Earth, was broken. Crops failed, and people and animals suffered from the lack of sunlight. The world was on the brink of collapse until Ra intervened, forcing Geb to release Nut and restore the balance of the cosmos. The kidnapping of Nut by Geb is a poignant story of love and defiance. Geb's actions, while rooted in love, had catastrophic consequences for the world. This story serves as a powerful reminder of the need to balance personal desires with the greater good. The eventual intervention by Ra showed the role of authority in maintaining order and preventing chaos. Finally, at number 1, we have the abduction of Hathor by Ra. Our final story involves Ra himself, the mighty sun god, and his abduction of Hathor, the goddess of love and joy. This story is particularly chilling because it shows the darker side of Ra's power. Hathor was a beloved goddess, known for her kindness and beauty. Ra, in a moment of jealousy and desire for control, decided to abduct her. He believed that by keeping Hathor close, he could harness her powers for his own benefit. Ra's abduction of Hathor was terrifying because it revealed the potential for tyranny even among the highest gods. With Hathor imprisoned, the world was deprived of joy and love. People became despondent, and the natural harmony was disrupted. It was only through the intervention of other gods, who appealed to Ra's sense of justice, that Hathor was eventually released, bringing happiness back to the world. The abduction of Hathor by Ra is a cautionary tale about the corrupting influence of power. Even a god as revered as Ra could succumb to darker impulses, leading to widespread suffering. The story also shows the resilience of the divine community and their ability to restore balance through collective effort. These stories of kidnapping in Egyptian mythology are not just tales of abduction, they're powerful narratives that highlight the delicate balance between order and chaos, love and jealousy, power and vulnerability. Each kidnapping had far-reaching consequences, affecting not only the gods involved, but also the mortal world. They serve as timeless reminders of the importance of harmony and the dangers of unchecked power. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the next one for more mythological stories from different cultures around the world.